And this episode of Hat Trick Hockey is brought to you by our good friends over at Claroux and Son Roofing. These boys have been in the business for over 25 years. They're fully insured. What I like to call these guys, the kings of roofing. Last year, these guys installed over 28,000 bundles of shingles. They get the job done right the first time. And remember what they say, if you want your roof done, you call Claroux and Son. Give them a shout now for your free estimate at 519-819-4309. Check them out. Woo, woo. And what is going on, everybody out there? All of you beauts and beauties, it's episode number 127 of Hat Trick Hockey, which is always brought to you by our good friends over at GL Heritage, the official beer of Hat Trick Hockey. If you like Tristan's sweater, my shirt, my hat, whatever, just smash the link on the post. We'll bring you right into the Hat Trick Hockey store for all of your sweet HTH merch. And here, as always, inside Windsor Laser Cutting Studio, I'll bring in my buddy Tristan inside Barker Builds. What's up, brother?
Not much. I'm enjoying life right now. Just coming up on the trade deadline, reading all the updates, and already some major trades happening, but we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, it's just it's good right now. This is my favorite part of the hockey world, is when all the trades happen, and I like to speculate in my own book and see how things go.
Yeah, man, it's been nuts. Like, this is my favorite time of the year. My two favorite times of the year is trade deadline and free agency. I will sit on the couch all day and watch it. Like, everybody, like, it's so boring. It's this, it's that. I'm like, I love it. But every year it's the same thing. It's just me just laying on the couch watching it. What have you been up to though, man? How's school? Everything like that? Work?
Well, school is good. As a lot of my friends know and stuff, I'm taking consecutive history now, so that's it's
Lots of
nothing
Red Bull?
nothing huge, but at the same point, it's something I really feel called to do, and it's good studying history, and then hopefully the goal is to become a high school teacher with that as my major and minor in phys ed. The thing is, the smartest teacher in every school, I always learned, it's not the math teacher, the science teacher, it's the gym teacher, because he gets paid the same and he teaches gym. So that's how it is.
That's funny. I know we're off now, as you know. Your old man, him and I work at the same spot, so we're off right now. We're laid off, so it's a week right now. We'll see, who knows, whatever. But
yeah,
I'm enjoying it, getting just being at home. We can go to hockey games and stuff like that. Now Ethan got student of the month, funniest video ever. I posted on my page. What a legend, fist bumping the whole time. It was hilarious. So, but it was fun. I was cracking up the whole time he was going up there. So way to go, E. A new thing I kind of want to start, Hat Trick Hockey Bumps. So we always say that when everybody comes on the show, that we always talk about how they'll score goals or they'll do something crazy in a hockey game, like something always good. So I put a little something on our page for minor hockey teams to reach out to us and let us know what they're doing, if they're winning tournaments, what they're doing in their respective like towns and stuff like that, good stuff that they do. So we had a couple teams write into us. So the first recipient, shall we say, of the Hat Trick Hockey Bumps is it's a U13 Erie Selects. They went to, I believe they were Etobicoke. So they went down there. There was a Winter Classic tourney a few weeks back. They beat Toronto. They beat Toronto 4-0, Burlington 3-1, and they beat the host Etobicoke. They beat them 5-0. So how's that for goals against?
Wow, fantastic.
And then they played in the finals. They were down in the finals, and they ended up coming back to win that 3-1. So congrats to those guys there, coaches, players, everybody involved with those guys.
Yeah, huge congrats.
We also have a Erie North Shore U9 Gray team. They won the John Horvat Memorial. They went 3-0 on Saturday, 2-0 on Sunday, 5-0, just walking through everybody, just complete truck. So,
yeah.
And also one of their coaches was Rick Keller, former guest of our show. He's a beauty. So congrats to those guys. And last but definitely not least, we have a girls team. They're the South County Predators U22 the blue team went down to Cambridge over the January 20th to the 22nd weekend. They went 4-0 down there. They won in the finals 1-0.
Wow.
So way to go, ladies.
Yeah,
Congrats
congrats, girls.
to the coaching staff there as well. Derek Marinte, Alan McLeod, Logan Robillard. Hopefully I said that right, Logan. So congrats to those guys. And that's our Hattrick Hockey Bumps. So if you have teams, minor hockey all around the county, anybody who listens to us, write into us. Tell us what's up. And we'll give you a shout out on the show, just like we did. So congrats to those teams.
Yeah, 100%. The Hattrick Hockey Bump, it's don't be mistaken. Even if the bump doesn't happen immediately, you never know. Listen, you'll thank us. Just remember us 5 years down the road when you get drafted to the NHL. So.
Remember us, we're here. Smash us interviews every year, okay?
Yeah.
We'll get into it like we always do at the start of every show. We usually talk about the 73s. So they played a game in Lakeshore. I wasn't there, so go ahead, man. Fill us in.
Yeah, so it was kind of a replica of a game that happened earlier in the year. You know, the final score was it was in Lakeshore, so it was 3-2 in overtime. Essex took the L. And obviously any of the guys on the team would tell you that this loss is attributed regardless of the nature of the call. There was penalties being taken, and that's what cost them the game. Almost half of the game they were in the box.
Wow.
And I'm not joking when I say that. You can look up the stats. I think they were something around 20, high 20s or low 30s of time in the box.
Holy fuck, boys.
But this is the thing. They killed off every single penalty, and they killed off 4 minutes of a 5-on-3.
Wow.
So huge job by the boys there, killing off the penalties, but scoring evaded them. You know, they led 1-0 for half of the game, and then all of a sudden in the second, Lakeshore scored 2 in 19 seconds.
Wow.
And that really deflated the guys. You could tell they were without head coach Jamie McDermott, who was away with an illness. So it was a bit of a game coming back from their cruise, which the boys had a great time.
Yeah, I see that. Holy shit, boys.
But unfortunately, yeah, they come back and suffer a loss in overtime. So they continue their point streak. They haven't broken that, but still it's a loss, and those are never fun to have. So the boys will be playing tonight on Tuesday. We'll see how they do. Hopefully they can rebound with a big game.
Oh, I think they're gonna bounce back hard tonight. I was gonna say, boys, everybody a little fucking hurting from the like cruise or what when we come back? Like, what's going on here, fellas?
Yeah, well, the good news is a couple of guys are healthy.
Oh, so who do we got back?
Carson Bugley and Carson Noble.
Beautiful.
Both are back, and they played well. Carson Bugley scored right away. Snipes in his first game back. Beautiful wraparound. Beat the goaltender to the opposite post, and yeah, Bugsy's back. Noble played well. He blocked a lot of big shots. That's just how Carson is. He's a good two-way defenseman, but
Connor scored too, right?
Yeah.
Why do you say it like that?
I have footage of the goal. I don't question the referees.
Okay, but why do you say it like that? What the fuck happened?
So I've got footage of it. It's hard to tell from my angle if it was back barring out or cross barring out, but after reviewing it like many, many, many times, I'll post it online if anyone wants to see it. I didn't post it because it ended up being called a goal.
I know, you didn't even send it to me.
Lakeshore was visibly confused, as was Essex, until it was clearly waved in by the referee as a goal. And we obviously trust the referee's discretion, whether it's correct or not, especially if it's in your favor. But personally, and I don't mean to dump on Connor. Connor, you're a nice guy, but I don't think it was a goal. I think it was crossbar and out. Essex had many crossbars and posts too. That's the thing. And it was definitely an interesting call, but it was in our favor. And, you know, I think Essex deserved a goal. So sometimes luck is on our side, right?
Don't listen to him, Connor. It's a goal, buddy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll take it. It's a goal, Tristan.
Yeah, you know, hey, it was a goal. The referee called it a goal. It's a goal on the paper. That's what counts.
Speaking of like bumps and stuff, so we had Carv on the show, and he had quite the night after the interview, correct?
Yes. So after Lakeshore defeated Essex, 3-2. They went, I believe, on the road to Wheatley, and they ended up getting cranked 6-3 by the Sharks.
Yeah.
Or it might have been 6-2. Anyway, Matthew Carvalho, 2 goals and an assist. Attaboy Carv, and that's the kind of guy he is. He put the team on his back. I believe Kitano had one of the other goals. It was just a very good team win for them, and like he said, Lakeshore's kind of, they got a bit of a mental stronghold on Lakeshore because of last year's playoffs. Lakeshore had a very near scare to not making it to the finals because of Wheatley. So huge props to them. Big win. Lakeshore, any of the boys who listen, we don't think you're the villains.
No.
Like, I know we were talking about you like you're the adversaries. Congrats to you boys. A 1-1 split coming away from your break as well. That's always good to have. So good for you guys.
Yeah, and also we did a interview with Carv that's going to drop soon. Carv is a beauty. It was an awesome interview. So that's going to be also coming out soon. We tracked him down. We got him. And yes, everybody too, don't sleep on the Sharks. Don't sleep on the Sharks. They're a good squad. They will grind you down. They will dump pucks in the corners. They will hammer you all game long. They're fast, they're gritty, and they can score. So don't sleep on Lakeshore.
Yeah,
sorry, not Lakeshore. Don't obviously don't sleep on Lakeshore, but don't sleep on Wheatley. I meant
they won't let you score either. That's their big claim to fame. They got 2 good goaltenders. Shout out to them, Ethan Hanley and Jackson Drysdale. Very, very strong stats. Only second to Essex. So good for them.
Don't sleep on them.
Nope.
All right. Shitty news. Bobby Hall passed away at the age of 84. 16 years in the show, 1,063 games, 610 goals, 560 assists, 1,170 points, 1.10 points per game. He was a plus 249 over his career. And don't forget, he also had 638 points in the WHA. He had 600 there too. I believe he was the first one to use the curved stick, correct? I think he was, yes. But a couple highlights, kind of career highlights for him. 7-time Maurice Richard trophy. So 7-time winner of that. He's a 3-time Art Ross winner, 2-time Hart. He won the cup, 2 world or WHA things as well, 12-time All-Star.
Well, you know what? The Golden Jet, right? Just an absolute phenom on the ice. And I'll tell you, here I am sounding like Don Cherry. I'll tell you, no. But the thing about Bobby Hull was his shot, right? That's how he amassed those 600+ goals and those Rocket Richard trophies. And his shot, technically, is recorded as the fastest. Not on an official sense, because back then the equipment was also subpar, right? But it supposedly he recorded over 120-mile-an-hour slap shot.
That's ridiculous, dude.
With a wooden stick.
Yeah, that's about 40 pounds.
Standing still.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So, if for any young kids listening, just picture that with a graphite stick. That's like a 80 flex, and him leaning into this. Also, if anyone listening, go and look up some pictures of Bobby Hull.
Yeah.
That guy might be the most ripped guy to ever play in the NHL.
Yeah, he's a tank.
Farm boy, 18-inch guns, and he was like 5'10" and 200 pounds of just solid rock muscle.
Yeah.
Just a nail gun.
So, rest in peace, Bobby. Just what he did for the game was just unbelievable. So
incredible player.
So rest in peace, Bobby. Tristan, I'm going to cut you loose on this one.
Okay.
Bo Horvat trade.
So we get the Bo Horvat trade, right? So it's obviously something that was anticipated ahead of this, right? Since the start of the year, with the Miller extension, many people believed Horvat would not be an affordable play for the Canucks, regardless of him being their captain. And that came to fruition. This past week, we saw Andrei Kuzmenko sign a 2-year deal at a 5.5 AAV. And that kind of was the death sentence, It was, everyone was like, okay, well, that means bye-bye for Horvat. And then a couple days later, Horvat gets sent to the island, Long Island, for 2023 top 12 protected first. Conditions have yet to be released, but likely it'll be something like if the pick moves into the top 12, or if we make it to the finals, you guys, the top 12 protection gets removed and stuff like that, right? But Atu Ratu also went center prospect, top center prospect for the Islanders, probably their best prospect in their system, and reclamation project Anthony Beauvillier, who anyone remembers. He's not big on like putting up points in the regular season, but if you watch this guy in the playoffs, so many clutch goals. Like I remember last year was either last year or the year before, he scored a Game 6 overtime goal in Tampa to send it back to the island for Game 7. He's just got that clutch gene in him. I don't know what it is. Like he's point per game in the playoffs, but a half a point a game when it comes to regular season. So I think many people see this as a W for the Islanders, right? You get Bo Horvat. The guy's almost got 40 goals already. Like he's playing fantastic this year. Rocket Richard candidate. And here's the thing. Bo Horvat averages about 50 to 65 points a year, right? That's kind of his frame. So lower first line center, high class second line center, which I believe he'll play second line minutes underneath Matthew Barzal. And here's my problem. Islanders currently are sitting at 6th in their division and still are 3 spots away from the last wildcard spot. So my problem is that they don't really have enough time for Bo Horvat to let loose. On top of that, they're a very defensive team. So Bo Horvat's goal production is likely going to drop off, which obviously Bo Horvat does other things. Very hardworking player. Anyone knows he played for the London Knights years ago. Just a very talented forward in all respects. But here's the thing. If they don't get an extension done, which obviously I think that's the idea, Lou Lamoriello is probably going to sit down and say, hey, what can we do here?
Yeah.
But Atu Ratu, I think he's going to be a fantastic prospect for the Canucks. Beauvillier, he'll be a great third-line scoring guy, whatever. And that first-round pick, here's my problem. This year's draft is so loaded. I don't care if it's top 12 protected. That player alone has potential to be better than Bo Horvat. Obviously, right now, we're in the here and the now, right? Like Vancouver identifies, hey, we're probably going to need to retool, as they call it now. It's kind of like a rebuild on the fly.
Yeah.
But the Islanders, they're kind of in their last hope. They got a lot of guys in their 30s, like Brock Nelson or Josh Bailey, who played for the Spits years ago. Like guys like that who are like, okay, we're almost like we're in our 35 plus range where now we want to try and win a cup before Lou probably retires. He'll probably retire with all that vein in New York. But here's the thing. Like I'm just so convinced that this is a win by Vancouver. Like obviously people are going to say, oh, it's terrible management. It's your captain. Yeah, but he didn't want to stay there.
No, fuck no.
Their whole organization is mixed up. They have the framework to be a good team, but they've got guys who wreck the attitude in that room. And guess what? They go and extend them. And that's who you're forced to keep now because you're paying them $9 million and you let your captain walk. Well, not walk. You trade him for good picks. I think that was a good move. But other than that, like, come on. JT Miller, he had one really good year and all of a sudden they're like, oh, yep, he's our solution for the future. And God forbid they name him captain next. It better be Pedersen or somebody else.
That's what I was thinking, too. I was like, wow, wonder who's going to be the captain. And just so you know, too, you were right on the head there. Horvat's career high in points was 2018-19. He had 61. And right now he's got 54 and 49 games. So he's probably going to break that this year, I'm assuming.
Right. And that's why they took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a good trade for the Canucks. And it could be good for the Islanders, but I don't think it will.
But all those guys that you had mentioned earlier too, like I was going to say, I didn't want to like interrupt because you were on a roll, but it was the window's closing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So they're
And they
like
just
you were
sent away their
saying, they're
future.
in the now. They're in the
Like,
now. So
that's the thing. Lots of teams do that, and it'll work out for them,
yeah.
but it's going to hurt them. Like, we
Mhm.
look at Boston this year. They're a wagon. I didn't expect that, but they are. But 3 years from now,
They're
they're
not gonna be,
they're not going to have a hope.
but they're in the
Same
now
with the
too.
Penguins.
Yeah, but
Penguins, 3 years from now, not going to have a hope. They
Pittsburgh's been
don't have
horrible
any
lately too.
prospects. Any. It's like, I understand, yeah, you want to try and win, and it worked out for Pittsburgh. Hey, they won their back-to-back cups, and
Damn right.
like, fantastic for them. Same for
Mhm.
Tampa. But see, Tampa is the happy medium where you can have these prospects who are keep replacing your guys who you have to let walk. Oh, okay, this guy has an expiring contract. That's fine. We've got a ripe 22-year-old who just went point per game in the AHL. He's
Yeah.
replacing that guy, right? Guess what? New York just gave away their center guy who does that. But they got Bo Horvat. So we'll see how this pans out. As of now, like, the Islanders are sitting at 25, 22, and 5. So around 500, and like, they don't really look like they have a shot at the playoffs. And if they do, they better start winning like 5 games in a row at a time right now. So we'll see.
Only time will tell.
And Ant can verify this. So when we were talking about
I was just about to say, tell them when we were talking off the air about this.
Off the air,
this was like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, me and producer Drew and Anthony were having a discussion about the potential trade of Red Wings players, and Larkin came up because as at that point in time, there hadn't been any discussion really about his contract or where their discussions were at, and the possibility of trading it's still very real, but less so since latest rumors. But my proposal was, I said, hey, listen, a guy like Lou Lamoriello, he wants to improve the top 6 center core. So the Islanders could go for a guy like Larkin, which Larkin and Horvat have pretty similar statistical, but one's more of a goal scorer, the other's more of a playmaker. But still, it's a top 6 center, right? First or second line, you can get that guy. And my exact words for a trade were, Red Wings fans, obviously they're going to want more, but I said, if you want a realistic trade, it should be a first this year, Beauvillier and Ratu.
Yeah, that was
Guess what, everybody? Guess what Lou gave up for a first line center? Exactly that. Yeah. So I'm just saying.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
That was funny though, man. But yeah, you called it.
Semi called it.
Yeah, but still, you called everything that the Islanders would send. That's
right, and that they would want that top 6 center, right? So
that's pretty good. So we'll see how Horvat does there. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Long Island. Leafs. I know we got a bunch of Leafs fans that listen, so we got to talk about them a little bit. Matthews out 3 weeks with a knee sprain, and they are not good without him.
How do you sprain a knee?
I don't know, man. That fucking hurt though. It sounds like it would hurt.
Yeah, like,
but I don't know. Toronto's completely different team without him, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't really realize how, like, obviously we all know he plays a huge role on the Leafs, but you don't really realize how big of a role he plays until he's not in the lineup.
Right.
It looks like a completely different team.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it's evident, but they also have guys to kind of come up and play in his position, right? Like, Tavares can play first line.
Yeah, of course.
Nick Robertson could play second line, no problem. It's not that, I don't think it'll be that big of a problem. They set themselves up well right now.
Speaking of Johnny, congrats on game 1000 too. He played in his 1000th game not too long ago as well. Captain Johnny T. So congrats on that. Also, fuck, Shanny, loosen up a little bit. Holy fuck, give the boys beer in the dressing room. He doesn't allow beer in the dress. Look at the type of player Shanahan was when he was playing for the Red Wings and this and that. You tell me they didn't sip a couple fucking pops in the dressing room after the game? Loosen up, Shanny. My God. Jeez. Like, doesn't allow it in the dressing room. So that's why now it makes sense why when Marner came in the room, they got him with water and not beer, because Shanny don't allow beer in the room. So I take that back, Leafs fans. I'll eat that one. So Shanny, let the boys have beers in the room. Holy fuck, dude. Loosen up a little bit. My God. Everybody's walking around there with their butthole so tight. No wonder why they're in a little bit of a skid here. But that being said, with the trade deadline coming up and the Leafs and everything, they are expecting Kyle Dubas to be all in on trade deadline. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what could actually be done. Where do you think what areas of the team do you think he's going to address? To me, and I think they said something about not someone was coming back, one of the guys on the blue line that slipped. Oh, I think it was Brody. TJ Brody, I believe, is coming back. And he
Okay.
wasn't, but I guess during some interview he slipped on his return date. And
Oh,
I think he's coming back next game. So
okay, good.
that's gonna be a little bit of a boost for the Leafs on the blue line.
So where do you think they're going to improve themselves?
I'm thinking that they need to improve on the blue line a little bit. Maybe a bottom six guy, possibly the grinder, someone is going to get in the corners. But to me, I think they need to improve on D. What do you think?
I agree. I think they can acquire a good right shot defenseman, uh, or possibly a left shot D man who could play the right side. Like I said, if they're truly going all in, they might go after a guy like Jacob Chikrin. Whether or not they have the pieces to get Chikrin, uh, I feel any high class defenseman they go out to try to get, they're gonna have to involve their top prospect Matthew Nyes,
Mm-hmm.
who is currently playing for I want to say UMinn, University of
Oh, okay.
Minnesota. But yeah, the Golden Gophers. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I feel, and because of the fact that Vancouver has come out and said they're only basically their core or untouchables are Pedersen, Hughes, and now Kuzmenko with that extension, I really think it could be a good idea because of Toronto's track record of getting goalies who maybe aren't that good
Mm-hmm.
and bringing them about to better, like this year Samsonov and Murray. And you can never have too many quality
Mm-hmm.
goaltenders. Like someone's going to get hurt in playoffs, and I really think they should go to Vancouver and get Thatcher Demko.
Yeah, it
He
wouldn't be
is
bad.
he is such a fantastic goaltender just on a crap team, and man, is he worlds better than Matt Murray. Let me tell you, like technically and ability wise, like okay, whatever. Matt Murray's on a bad contract. You're gonna have to send Samsonov and maybe a pick.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
The
Fuck it.
problem is Samsonov's been their better goaltender.
Yeah, I know.
So, but I really feel Demko in Toronto, he's a 930 save percentage guy, and that's that. And in playoffs, he's so clutch. Does anyone remember the series versus Vegas a couple years ago in the bubble, where Thatcher Demko literally had like a 950 in that 7-game series and
Yeah,
still lost?
yeah, that
Like
was
that's
nuts.
cracked.
Yeah, that was
So
nuts.
anyone, yeah,
But either way,
consider that, Leafs fans.
if they bring him in for that, it's still an upgrade in that.
Right, but their goaltenders have been doing good,
Yeah,
and
but it's still though,
Demko's had a rough year.
I
So
don't think what they have in net is really gonna give them a run though. Like,
no, no, and you
like
know
they're
what?
not built for a run.
Maybe you throw a second and a third round pick at
Mm.
Vancouver, and they say yeah to that
They need
because
a true number one goaltender.
and Thatcher
Like,
Demko can be that.
yeah, that's what I mean. So he'd be a good fit.
He's still young. I think he's
Mhm.
20, 26,
Yeah, you could,
25, 26.
yeah,
So
you could get a solid 6-7 years out of him at least. Yeah, that's something to watch for. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Let's keep going on some more trade rumors. You said you had a few that were kind of heating up a little bit, right?
yeah, so it looks like the Devils also want to go all in because they're having such a good year, and this is the first year they've had a good year in a while. So they could look to acquire a top line power forward guy. And that guy would be Timo Meyer, who
Mm-hmm.
is with San Jose, who is struggling, and his contract expires. I think he could be a fantastic fit. Man, him with Jack Hughes,
Yeah.
that would be just incredible. And Jesper Bratt as well, a playmaker. Well, actually, Bratt's kind of like a two-way guy. He's a bit of a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you like 40 goals and 40 assists. And Jack Hughes is that playmaker, and then you get a big power forward guy like Meyer, who will give you 30 goals and 70 assists if he plays to his potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if they extend him, all the more even greater. Or they could try and go for, maybe another winger who's fills the same purpose, but is a little bit cheaper and maybe not as high of a guy like Tyler Bertuzzi. So we'll see where they go with that. But Devils are definitely a team to watch when it comes to any of the big names on the trade market, whether it's a D-man like Chikrin or all kinds of stuff.
You said there was some interest with what's his name from the Wings too, right? Bert. You said there
Bertuzzi,
was
yes.
you said there was like 2 or 3 teams who were looking at him.
Yeah, so the teams that were reported, I believe Friedman said it on 32 Thoughts, 3 teams that he had kind of heard were circling around him, around Bertuzzi, were Calgary Flames, Dallas Stars, and
It was the Leafs, wasn't it?
yeah, Leafs, yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs, which we've known about. The Leafs have had interest in him for a few
I've been
years
hearing
now.
this for a while with them.
So, but here's the thing. I don't believe in trading good players to a team within the division because it'll come back to bite you in the ass later on.
Do you think Yzerman really gives a fuck though?
Yeah, I think he does.
It all depends on what's coming.
I don't want to be 2 years from now. Bert gets extended, and then he scores the overtime goal against Detroit in the first round.
Yeah, but it depends on what we're getting back though.
Well, here's the thing. They don't really have much that I'm interested in. Nor I think Yzerman. And if they ask for Matthew, if like Yzerman, obviously, if he asks for Matthew Nyes or like a first, I think the Leafs' next first they have is not even this year. It's like the following year or something like that. So I don't like that whole outlook. Now, Dallas.
Yeah, he'd be fit good there. I think he'd fit good with the Leafs too.
Would be a team. Dallas has a lot of center prospects. Detroit does not have a lot of center prospects. I'm talking about a guy by the name of, anyone who watches London, you'll know how gross he was, Antonio Strangis. Now, if the Wings could get Strangis in like a second, and then maybe a struggling player who, okay, this is kind of biased, but he's my favorite player, so I know just how good this guy can be. Denis Gurianov. Anyone listening, go and watch Denis Gurianov highlights. He is the fastest recorded slap shot in game ever, 110 mile an hour, one-timer. Sent them to the Stanley Cup final a few years ago. You can watch it. It was the overtime game 5 winning goal. But anyway, oh yeah, absolute missile. But yeah, I think that could be a really good trade for the Wings. You know, Bertuzzi goes there. In return, you know, you get a good prospect, a good pick, and a good young player. And I think that's probably the return Yzerman's looking for. Even though Bertuzzi has been struggling, you can retain salary up that value.
So if he went to the Leafs, let's say, who do you think would be what would be a rough deal on who would come back from Toronto?
Ultimately, if there's no big prospect involved, you want a first. But I could see it being Rodion Amirov, who's a young scoring winger from the Russian league. But again, there's kind of controversy around the Russian players and stuff like coming over and their ability to do so. But Rodion Amirov, maybe a young defenseman like Rasmus Sandin, and then like a middle pick, like a second or a third.
The reason why I say that is because I think Bert would kind of fit in good in Toronto. He's got,
of course,
he could be probably bottom 6 guy there. Let's face it.
Yeah, he'd be a third line and play with like Kerfoot.
But he adds a little bit of grit to him too, right? He's a little bit of sandpaper that I think they need. So
none of them have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but that's what I mean. That's why I think Toronto could possibly be a good fit for him as well. So,
sorry, I shouldn't say none of them. Yeah. I failed to mention like 40-year-old Wayne Simmons.
Yes.
But
he's still trying to do it. But you know what I mean? I give him mad props for that. But I mean, like a guy like Bert, I think could also fit in good in Toronto as well. But
100%.
It's funny that 2 of the cities are Canadian cities with all the like vaccination stuff that he had going on around him. That 2 of the
you know what I think a lot of people realized. Well, I don't want to get too political here, but they've realized that a lot of it, in some respects, was silly, and that a lot of it hasn't really. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm not.
We ain't going into it.
We're not in any political spectrum, but I agree with some of the situation and disagree with some of it, as do most people now that it's behind us. Like many of. Anyway, moving along.
Trevor Zegras. What the fuck did he say to Thatcher?
I don't know.
Had him. Someone said, he said something about Troy's dad because Troy's dad had just passed away not so long ago. But there was guys on the ice that said that was not the case.
No. But it also was stated that he crossed some sort of
crossed
line.
some sort of line. You don't just fucking see a guy freak out on the ice like that for nothing.
And Stetcher played for the Wings, and there was like interviews with him. He's the most chill guy ever.
Yeah,
like he couldn't care less about something, but he was Man, if that line, and this is what I hate most about Zegras. He waited till that ref came in there.
Mhm.
Waited till the linesman was in between, then he started running his mouth.
You know
And
what?
I'll
If
say
I'm
this. Arizona, they might not win games, but they're a tough team. They got
yeah,
some big boys. They got Nick Ritchie, Nick Bukestad.
yeah. You want to know
Apparently
what
their
I would
entire
do if
team
I
is
was
named
a
Nick.
ref?
What?
If I was the ref and I'm standing there and he says something like that, he's talking shit, I just step out of the way. Here, you want to fucking be an idiot? Answer the bell then, because
Yeah.
it's gonna because he was lipping off someone's bench not too long ago too.
Was
So
it the Leafs?
I think so. He's starting to get a little lippy. So
Oh,
when it comes to the NHL, you stay in your own lane, man. If you're a goal scorer, you score goals. If you're a tough guy, you mingle with the tough guys. If you're a grinder, you're grinding out in the corners along the boards. Stay in your own lane, Trevor, or someone's going to end up popping you in the lips. That's what's going to end up happening. So
exactly.
we'll see what happens when it comes to that. Carey Price. So word is he's going to be moving back out west.
Yeah.
He's a BC boy, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, he
So
is.
word is that he's moving back out there. So they're saying that he's set to retire. So what do you think on the whole Carey Price thing?
Well, I think that's pretty evident that he's gonna probably hang him up after this year and whatever. And you know what? I think Carey Price, in my opinion, is a Hall of Fame goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not a light term to use, but when you truly look at his stats and the struggling teams he carried to the playoffs and to the finals and conference finals,
Mm-hmm.
he's just a legend of the game. And he's up there with all the other goaltending greats, regardless of hardware. Like, he's one of, I want to say, 3 goaltenders to ever win the Hart Trophy. That's
Yeah.
league MVP.
Yeah.
That's not just
nuts.
Vezina. Oh, he's the best goalie. No, that's league MVP. That means out of every player in the NHL, however, whatever many there are, the 300, 400 players that play in a year, he was the best.
Yeah. Do you think they retire his number?
Well, here's a problem.
Oh, here
Here's
we
a problem. Montreal has a lot of retired numbers already.
Yeah.
Like literally half of the numbers between 0 to 100 are retired. So it's kind of, I don't know, because, well, who they got? They got Jacques Plante is retired.
Waugh.
Patrick Waugh for goaltending, and then I think that's it.
Do you think Carey Price goes? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes too.
I'm going
think
to say
they do,
yes.
too.
I'm going to say yes.
I think they will too.
Because, well, who was the last guy they had retired? Was it Patrick Waugh?
I feel like it might have been, yeah.
Or was it? Oh, wait. No, his number ain't retired. I'm trying to think of anyone who would have played in the 90s.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think it would have been Patrick
many.
Waugh. Thing is, though, I think a lot of those guys whose numbers are retired, they won a cup. So then again, it's also Montreal wins like
85
every cup.
cups. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know. We'll see, man. Time will tell. But either way, congrats to him, man. It's a hell of a career. And you know what? To pick your health first is never a fucking bad thing either. Imagine he could have been on a team that wasn't struggling, or well, imagine he was on, like, it almost makes you think that like the last 5 years of his freaking career, if he would have just said, hey, why don't you just send me somewhere where I have a chance to win? You know what I mean? And give him that 4 or 5 cracks at it, like 4 or 5 solid cracks at it. So I think maybe if he was on a team that was a little bit better, obviously, I think he could have won 1 or 2. But just knowing like him in his prime, fuck, man, was he good? Stole games, stole series. Yeah. Like he was just dominant. He was just good. So
same thing a few years ago. Like it's always bad to see goaltenders retire because of injury. Like Ben Bishop, he was one of my favorite goalies growing up. Like, when he was on Tampa, LA, and then Dallas, like such a good goalie. Great big guy, 6'7", like, but he was fast like a cat, and ultimately retired at, I want to say 32, which is way too young, and it was because of knee problems. I mean, it's gonna happen no matter what when you're that tall, but still, it's sad to see these guys. Like, I don't even think that Price is that old. What is he, 35 or 34?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's
mid to late 30s, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to see, but I wish Carey well in his endeavors, because he's a legend. Anyone who's listening, he's like, You know, when you think Carey Price, you think a guy who's just going to be calm. You ask players every year in the NHL, hey, who's one guy, who's the goalie at the end of the ice you don't want to see?
Mhm.
And they say Carey
Yeah,
Price
they all
because
say
he's
it.
so calm.
Yeah.
Even to this day, like with guys like Vasi out there, yeah, you'll get some Vasi, some Shesterkin.
Mhm.
I think one guy said Carter Hart and stuff like that,
Ah.
but like 99% of the time you're gonna hear Carey Price because
Mhm.
he's so calm and intimidating. Like imagine being a goalie and you can intimidate a player. That's how
Yeah.
renowned you are. Respect to him.
Yeah. Last thing, there's a extension in Vancouver, you said.
I mentioned it.
Yes.
The
Oh,
two
you
years,
already did it?
the 2 years,
Fuck.
5x5.
Man.
Andre Kuzmenko.
I'm fucking dash two today.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. But yeah.
I'm a
Oh,
scatterbrain though.
there was also a rumor
Uh-oh.
that for Florida, who is struggling, another trade rumor that a player that could garner some interest, or players for that matter, is their center depth, Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart.
Ooh. You think they get a call from Mr. Eiserman?
I love Sam Reinhart as a hockey player. He's so good, even this year for a struggling Panthers team.
Well, we said Detroit might have to address the center position.
Hey, he's only 27. But here's my problem. The Wings weren't very patient, and that kind of upset me with what Eiserman did. That's the one move I didn't really like, was he signed Andrew Kopp.
Mm-hmm.
And like I knew it was going to be like Kopp got overpaid. He had a good year last year because he played with the Rangers. Yeah, when you play with your Panarin and Zibanejad, you're going to get points.
Yeah.
And like the Wings signed him to like 5 mil for like 4 years, and I'm like, like really, like that's going to be our second line center? No,
Maybe you'll trade him.
Like there's so many better guys coming up in future years, like this
Mhm.
summer if Horvat's not extended. But here's the problem: Kopp's not going anywhere with that contract.
No, I know.
He's like a half a point a game right now, and it's like
I know.
whatever. Anyway, but yeah, Sam Reinhart, I'm all for it. If Eiserman can work out a deal where it's Bert for Reinhart,
Straight up.
why not?
Yeah. Fuck. I wouldn't hate it.
We got too many wingers in our system.
And I love Bert. Like,
him.
don't get me wrong. I
Right,
love
yeah.
Bert,
But here's the thing: it'd be I don't think that's the trade because
No.
that would be pointless. Both teams are sitting out of a playoff spot, so it wouldn't make sense. It would obviously be like some picks or something that Florida would want, and Eiserman would probably sit down and try to extend Reinhart right away. But anyway, this is all just speculation. But thanks for bearing with us in all our Wings talk. But
yeah. Also, the All-Star games this weekend too, correct?
yeah,
I believe
I don't
it is.
know.
But you know
I
what?
stopped
However you
watching
feel on the All-Star game, listen, the All-Star skills comp, I believe, goes Friday. The game goes Saturday, I believe is how it goes. So
I might watch the game. Still, the skills comp has gotten silly, in my
I'd like
opinion.
to see them go back to those fucking old school All-Star jerseys with the big NHL logo, and they were like white, black, and like
back when it was like the Campbell division and everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Why would you not have those? Those things are fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, well, whatever. The All-Star competition's been declining for years. Like now the skills are weird. Like last year in Vegas,
Get rid of
the
the
accuracy
skills.
competition was like shooting giant cards outside.
Yeah, this year they were talking
like,
about something with fucking sharks or something. I don't know. Or alligators or I don't know.
It's in Florida. We'll
just
see.
Keep it to fucking just what about whatever happened to the old school skills? Like, you know what I mean? The fastest skater, the hardest shot, the accuracy shooting. Like, why are we shooting from fucking platforms and hitting cards?
I don't even know who's in it for the hardest shot this year.
I don't even know. You want to know why?
Why?
Because the All-Star game's fucking boring me now. I can't like I'm the same as you. I'll probably only watch the game. I might turn on the skills comp a little bit just because
I might watch the hardest shot. That's like the only thing I watch.
Yeah, just because Ethan's like a hockey nut right now. So everything is fucking hockey in my house right now. Makes me push everything aside in the basement. And he just got a pair of hockey gloves too. So he's like running around with a mini stick and stuff all the time. So my house is full on hockey right now.
Hey, this week it's getting cold, everybody. There might be some ODRs or some pond puck coming up this weekend.
Let me know when you go out because I will I'm trying to get Ethan out on the ice a little bit. I want to get him skating, so I might yank him out of school a day this week just to get him on the ice out in Harrow. Shh, don't tell mom. So We're probably going to do that. Him and I will go out on the ice and have some lunch after and stuff. Probably is what we might do. Are you free any days this week?
Yeah, like afternoons, I'm open. So
okay, we'll figure something out. We'll talk. But anyways, we're gonna head to the game. We're going to the 73s
yes, we are
game tonight.
We're going to watch the threes.
Yeah. So until next week, Ant, Tristan signing off. We're out of here, and we'll see you around the rink. Talk to you.
See you later, everybody. Have a good night.
I've lost my fight with time. My numbers up and up the line. I gaze at the darkness, so empty. Just looking for the light. Shout for help, but no one's there. Need a guiding hand, someone who cares. All alone in the darkness, I've realized for the first time I am scared. If I could do it all again, if I had one more chance, my friend, I would rewrite all my wrongs. I would find where I belong. I got lost along the way. I had so much more to say. If I could do